Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoimla, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakahakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawaf, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. This is I want to use a fair use notice, copyright disclaimer, and as you can see here, got all the details in here. It says the site contains images and excerpts, the use of which have not been pre-authorized. This material was made available for the purpose of analysis and critique, as well as advance the understanding of political, media, and cultural issues. The fair use of such material is provided under the U.S. copyright law in accordance with U.S. Code Title 17, Section 107. Material on this site, along with credit links and attributions to its original sources, viewable for educational and intellectual purposes, and that's what I'm using it for. Right, so yeah, fair use notice. I wanted to use that real quick. So I want to go off into a video or pretty much a movie clip from a movie that came out in I think it was 2019. It's called The Professor and the Madman, and it's a movie about, not to give away nothing, but it's pretty much overall about the Oxford Dictionary being put together, back in the, I think it was 1800s. I think that's the dated time or whatever, in the period that they're in or whatever. But they're trying to put together the Oxford Dictionary. So I was listening to the apostle, and he's going off into I'm listening to this one video right here. He's going off into the word jot, but he's pretty much he's saying be scholarly and go off into these words and the etymology of words. So when I seen this movie last night, it's spiritual actually, because when I seen this movie, it's a real dope movie, because I didn't know that the hard work, man, that it actually took to just put together. I think it took, I'm not even sure how many years it took them to put together just the letter A through B or C or some shit like that. But overall, it took them like 70 years to do the the original versions of the Oxford Dictionary. And there was a lot of countries that was in the running for it. It was a real big thing at the time. You had all, and overall, it was all pretty much, what they would call European countries or so-called white people countries. They were the ones that were in control of this and in the racings of it, of course. This particular movie right here is, is going off into the Queen. So she wanted to be kind of top on it, not that they show her in the movie, but this is who overall they were working for. They were working for, that particular land. And they was on, pretty much a race to science, and it's a scene in the movie. I couldn't find it. But this guy, he explains how they've conquered everything. So-called white people, like, we've conquered everything. We know about everything except for all the words. We must put all the words together into one book. This one guy's telling them, like, well, it's going to be impossible because words change over time, and that has happened because of, so-called white people have really watered down a lot of words. But when you go into older dictionaries, like the elder Malcolm out in Chicago, he's real big on older books, older dictionaries, and you'll see original meanings, and you'd be like, dag, I never knew that, that word actually meant that, and then, here in the Americas, of course, like, say, like, for instance, you got John 3:16, for God so loved the world. But in the American dictionary, it's like 20 different definitions for the word world. So you have to know which word world is being used in that context. So the movie was dope, though. I'm not going to even front. It was a dope movie. I was kind of surprised. Stayed up pretty late watching it. It had some, little weird-ass twist to it. But overall, the study, the hard, grueling work that they was doing to put together this, I'm talking about, man, I'm talking about just one word, man. They will be working on that one word for months, trying to get it from the 15th century, 16th century, 17th century, 18th century. They was really gruely studying like that. They was getting down like that. I'm talking about down to the simplest, minute thing, and that's pretty much what the apostle was when he was going off into right here, Salakia.
For a very,
I'm gonna pause it real quick because he's going off into the word jot. You know, and he's explaining that, you know, I guess when you see a lot of you know, some brothers, they'll have like, you know, Yahweh, and they'll have like the, you know, the very first character, which would be, you know, the Yah, jot, or what, you know, pretty much overall the smallest letter in the Hebrew alphabet. It's supposed to be small. It's not supposed to be as big as the other letters. And he was kind of explaining that. And you know, it's just kind of like by the Spirit, when I was listening to this video, it kind of brought me back to the movie. And I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, words, they really do make a difference. You know, going off into the etymology of these words, seeing what these words really mean. Because if you don't, you're going to get a misconception of what the scriptures are actually saying. And that's what's happening with a lot of Christians. You know, they don't go off into the actual meaning of the intent of the word that was used at the time. They just thinking like, okay, well, we're reading it in English and this is what it means. No, it can't be like that. But I was just listening to this, so let me go back on the apostle just a tad here, just a tad. I'm pretty much by middle ways.
From the Hebrew, Latin came from, I believe, Greek that goes back into the Hebrew. If you go to Google and you put in English alphabet, Roman alphabet, or whatever, the English alphabet, when you learn in school, first grade, kindergarten, first grade, they give you the ABCs, and it's Abaka, which is Hebrew. The first language I knew in reading the letters, the sound that it made was Hebrew. So we were learning Hebrew back in first grade. If you go to certain old dictionaries, they'll give you the English alphabet. Then they'll say this originates from the Latin, which goes back to the Greek, which goes back to the Hebrew.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it there. And he was going off until, you know, what that the jot meant, you know, and it was basically going off into the minutest part of the law is not going to be done away with. The smallest of it. You know, because you got Christians that be talking about how the law was fulfilled. You don't have to keep the law no more. But the Lord straight up told him, like, nah, until heaven and earth pass away, you know, until all be fulfilled, roughly paraphrasing, not one jot or one tittle shall be moved away from the law, roughly paraphrasing, man. Not even the most simplest, smallest thing that you can think of. See, even like down to pork. See, people like, God, the Lord won't kill you over eating no pork. Nah, man, that's that's a part of the law. He will knock your ass off of eating pork. And you can consider that to be, well, that's a small thing. Yeah, okay, well, all of it matters, man, because the Lord is not getting rid of any of it. Anyway, though, but let me play this clip, though, since the apostle mentioned, you know, the dictionary and how he mentioned it. The same way he mentioned it is almost like this clip right here. I'm gonna play this one right here. Copyright disclaimer. And also, this shows you that Esau, this motherfucker, knows everything. He's really into studying the world, and he wants to figure out everything that's going on, from the heights of the heavens to the oceans and all this other stuff, because he wants to basically take the Lord up on that challenge, so to speak, that if you can figure this out, then the Lord will forget about the children of Israel, roughly paraphrasing. So, but let me play this clip right here. Check it out.
Qualifications come to mind. Perhaps a bachelor's degree.
Qualifications, yes. Well, I'm fluent in Latin and Greek, of course, and beyond those, I have an intimate knowledge of the Romance tongues: Italian, French, Spanish, Catalan, and to a lesser degree Portuguese, Vaudois, Provençal, and other dialects. In the Teutonic branch, I'm familiar with the German, Dutch, Danish, and Flemish. I've specialized in Anglo-Saxon and Meso-Gothic, and have prepared works for publication on both these languages. I also have a useful knowledge of Russian. I have sufficient knowledge of Hebrew and Syriac to read at sight the Old Testament and the Peshitta, and to a lesser degree, Aramaic, Arabic, Coptic, and Phoenician, to the point where it was left by Gesenius. Forgive me rattling on. I'm sure you have questions.
And that's pretty much about it on that scene, because they was pretty flabbergasted because the guy hadn't been to college. And that's another thing too, you know what I'm saying? You know, in the scriptures where it talks about, you know, our elders, you know, they, you know, some of them didn't go to college. Like even with Yahushua, they like, well, how did he learn this? How does he know this? How does he know what he's saying? You know, he's speaking with all this authority. How does he know this? He never went to any of the you know, the Hebrew schools, you know, the top scholars, you know. But this man, he had no bachelor degrees, he had no credentials whatsoever. He was just good at what he done. And one of these, and those guys that's sitting around asking all those questions, these are all the academic people. These are the professors, you know, the real, you know, the ones that's got, you know, their labels and shit. Done went to school, college, and got all these, you know, letters put on the back in front of their names. This guy, he didn't have any of that, but they put him in charge to put together the Oxford Dictionary because of the shit that he knew. And he ran off all the shit that he was going into, so he was good at what he was, you know, what he was into. But the point of it is they had a scene where this guy, he, you know, this so-called white guy, he's like, we must, you know, and speaking in that so-called perfect English, we must trace down and track down every word of the world. You know, he was really going off into it like, we've conquered everything. We know about the oceans. We know about the skies. We know about this. We know about that. But they was trying to put together this fucking dictionary because they had been trying to do it for quite some time, but it was like, it was too tedious. They couldn't figure it out. And so this guy, he put together a plan to pretty much have the world help, so to speak. You know, a lot of people was reading books at the time. So as people was reading books, they sent out like a memo or whatever throughout the world, you know, little short letters, you know, to people. If you were an avid reader, you know, the bookstores, libraries, if you read, you know, and you come across a word, you know, send it to us, you know, that's some shit like that. But that's the tediousness that they went through, and it just brought me to, it just reminded me of, let's go into the scriptures here. Salaki, I didn't mean to rant too long, I wanted to set things up, but the apostle was on point with that, man. Let's get, it did remind me of, what's that, Ezekiel 28. Let me start from the top on this. Because Esau, I'm watching, matter of fact, I'm watching Scripps News in the background on the TV here while I'm doing this lesson right. It's on mute. But you know, Esau, man, this motherfucker, man, I'm watching him right now. He's transporting you know, exotic sharks and shit, you know what I'm saying, to other parts of the world. This motherfucker got a damn aquarium underground that looks like a whole damn world, man. But that's Esau. He knows about all these species. He knows about all the crustaceans. He knows about all these things. He knows, man. So when it comes down to them not know, how can they not know that we are the Hebrew Israelites? How could they not know our history if they know all this shit? All that stuff that guy just rattled off in that clip. You trying to tell me that those people back then and even before then didn't know that the children of Israel were the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Man, they know that shit. Esau ain't nothing getting away from Esau. This motherfucker all out in space. And that's another thing too, that Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Because he's the one that's in power to actually put these things together and implement it and put it into order, man, and push it. No one else can do that. No so-called black people not just gonna open up no fucking aquarium and go across the world and get a jellyfish from here and fucking puffer fish from here and a damn dolphin from here. Nah, man, them so-called white people gonna be like, what the fuck you think you doing? You're not authorized. We got this. No, we got this. You're not authorized. If so-called black people was trying to put together a damn zoo, it'd take your ass 100 years, man, before you get through all their sanctions and all their laws, their statutes and their commandments and shit. Anyway, Ezekiel 28, let me start from verse 1. And it reads, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, And thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not God. Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. And all these leaders do that, man. But mainly the so-called white man. This is talking about the wicked. This is talking about his ass. He's the main culprit in setting up himself as being something to be worshipped, man. That's the reason why he about to go so hard on that damn implant. He wants to put that implant into people because he wants to be the ultimate God, man. He has a God complex, according to what's that, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, I think it is. 2 and 3, 2 and 4, where it says that, you know what I'm saying, the man of sin, the son of perdition will be revealed. See, he's being revealed in these last days. And this is one of his attributes, man, that he will be studying everything. He knows every goddamn thing, bro. And if he's not saying it, it's not right. Okay? Verse 3, it says, Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that can hide from thee. See? He's wiser than Daniel. Hey, Daniel was wise as ever, man. But the scripture talks about the children of light being wise in these last days. And Esau, Edom, man, they are the, you know, they wise as shit on the left hand side. They just don't have no spiritual insight. Verse 4 says, With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. And see, they done all this on the left hand side here. It says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. You trying to be like the Lord? Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. And this is pretty much what's about to happen to these damn Edomites, man. I'm just looking at the TV right now. It's like everything you look at, or everything that you see that's got to do with anything that's got to do with money, infrastructure, anything being built. I don't give a fuck if it's plants. I don't care if it's a farm. I don't care if it's a car shop. I don't care what it is. This man has written the rules, and you have to go by his rules. Other than that, you're not legit. You have to come to him to get his permits. You have to come to him to get his licenses. As a matter of fact, you know what? I didn't see no black people in that movie. Of course you know. Well, no black people in that movie. I don't think I saw not even a servant. I ain't seen not one person even serving, you know, that was so-called black in that movie. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on this, man. I found it to be interesting when I seen, you know, that movie last night when I was watching The Apostle, when he was talking about that, you know, being scholarly. Because I'm not going to front. That's one of the most scholarly movies I've seen, man. Like, I was trying to find some more to it. Let me see. Okay, so we'll clip it up here. Let's play this part right here. And you'll see, just like, kind of give you an idea of like the tediousness that they was going through. And you got to realize this was, I think it was 1872. Like, they didn't have no damn internet. They didn't have no Google. They didn't have no Siri. They couldn't ask. They was really like straight up reading books, volumes of books. And really writing, you know what I'm saying, with feather and pen, with ink, you know what I'm saying, dipping a damn feather into ink. And writing, man. They didn't have no damn pencils and, you know, the pens that work. You know, people don't use no damn pencils and pens like that now anyway. Or they'll type on a damn keyboard or something like that with some spell correct. But they was going through the work of it. But this is how tedious, this is how Esau searches out things, man. And he's great at that shit. He's great at that shit. Like I must say, he is great at being, he's very tedious at being wicked, man. But anyway, let's play this clip and I'll end out.
We've been attempting to make this dictionary for the last 20 years. The task is gigantic.
And impossible.
There is a way. An appeal to the English-speaking public. We'll ask them to read in search of the words that we want and get them to write the word on a slip of paper.
All words and their complete history.
Every last one.
The work is taking too long. It's not a single page to show for it.
The language is developing faster than our progress.
It's a miracle.
God has sent us a savior. A new volunteer.
Who is he?
So this is the good doctor.
Okay, so that's the point right there. You get all, Sean Penn, he played a madman. That's another part. I'm not going to even get up into it. He was a bug out, but he was the one that actually, put together pretty much the first volume of the dictionary, pretty much damn near by himself, because they had got stuck, and he was just a madman sitting in one of those asylums, and he got busy, and next thing you know, man, he sent them everything that they needed, just by just him. And so, anyway, it's a decent watch, man. But like I said, it's some twist to it, that may be disturbing to you. I'm not going to get all off into that. But I thought it to be interesting because it is very important. Because the scripture says to study and show thyself approved. And that's crazy because that's one of the words that they had a problem with. One of the words that they were stuck on for a real long time was the word approve. Okay, but this is 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So let's go off into this word approve. Now see, at the touch of a button, we got all this stuff today. But as you can see, man, they was just using little place cards, man, and shit like that, man. They had like, string going to this, string going to that, a string going to this, string going to that, 1500s, the 1700s, the 1800s. They was like, no, we missing from the 1600s. We must go back. I'm talking about tediously. So this is Esau, man. That's a trait that we know that Esau, Edom, is the wicked, man. Because it scriptures clearly says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He's the one that's able to say what a dictionary can actually be. If he's not given authorization on it, then it's not so. That's how we know he's in control, man. Simple stuff like that. Let's get this word approved, though. This word approved, and this is in the Greek. G1384, dokomos. Accepted, particularly of coins and money. Accepted, pleasing, acceptable. In the ancient world, there was no banking system as we know it today, and no paper money. All money was made from metal, heated unto liquid, poured into molds, and allowed to cool. When the coins were cooled, it was necessary to smooth off the uneven edges, the coin. So it's kind of going off into money. It's got a nice little, well, pretty much acceptable. Tried. That's a good word for it too. Tried. You know what I'm saying? Like, the scripture talks about, because that's pretty much, how you try the reins, or the Lord, he tries the reins, or pretty much, you testing someone. It's pretty much like when you go, say for instance, you go to a job interview, they're approving you. Or you go to a bank, they might do an approval rating. They're trying you. They're scouring through to see if there's any discrepancies. And if there's any discrepancies, we can't deal. You know what I'm saying? You gotta work out those discrepancies. Come back and see us, type of deal. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on this for a hot sec. Good movie if you want to watch it. Again, it's called The Professor and the Madman. Came out in I'm assuming 2019. I never heard of it. I haven't been too big on my movies in years since I came into this truth. I used to watch them, but coming into this truth, I spend a little bit more time, just watching videos as opposed to watching a movie. I figured if I'm gonna watch a damn 2-hour movie, I might as well get edified for 2 hours. But you got to use balance too. There's nothing wrong with scaling back just a little bit and chill. Get you some chill time in your day to kind of do something. You know what I'm saying? But normally when I'm watching movies though, they're period pieces. I like period pieces because of the scriptures. I like those older movies. I never used to like them before I came into the truth neither. But coming to the truth, it gives you a lot of, you watch them, they give you a lot of history, and you can see things. It kind of takes you there to a sense of what was going on in those time periods. You get visuals on it. Sometimes it helps to get those visuals. So I watch a lot of those movies now, and I don't know, I just kind of ran across that one, clicked on it, and was like, all right, this might be all right. Yeah, I got into it. Yeah, it was, it's a pretty good movie. About 2 hours though, two and some change hours. But anyway, I'm gonna end out there, man. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I think we hit everything. But yeah, we have to study and show ourselves approved as well. You know, be like the Church of Berea. And the apostle, he put up 2 videos. He went out, you know, talking about being scholarly. I think he done what was that? 1 John 5 and 7. Then he came back with the he may go off into the tittle word too. He was working on jot in this particular one right here that I was watching, but I'm not sure if he's going to go into tittle on it. But anyway, you know, point is made. I pray that the lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Yashala in the Bible Ball.